Oh. Alright, YouTube is going live literally off the bat. Cool. Alright, well, that's a nice little change, I guess. On locations, I tried to literally put the moon. Like, I put literally the moon for a location. I tried to put that on there. It wouldn't let me. Wouldn't let me. Oh, hold on. Let me get rid of this fogginess. There we go. Oh, wait, hold on. This is smear. There we go. I just gotta clean this. Do a little cleaning. Let people gather around as they see me in the background cleaning shit. Oh, I forgot to get alcohol. That's what I forgot to get too.
Oh, you have some of that.
Oh yeah, but that's like mostly the wedding cake. Oh. Yeah. I have some purple Hindu in there buried. I can find it just looking at the notes, but it's not much. Oh. It's like, dang, not the high I'm looking for.
For $60 half hour, you get sex with a robot. Turn it up.
It's not that it's like not enjoyable. It's just like I want a particular. I'm a particular boy. I have my needs. Yes, my needs are white. Oh, yes.
What happened?
Smuggling laws. Yeah.
Now it seems like you're constantly getting up to pee. You're even getting up every night to go. This is not okay. Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate.
I am Super Smug. You're out. Greetings. What to do? All live messages, that would be preferable instead of just top chat nonsense. Greetings, good sir.
Early research suggests that ingredient is P3
Pineapple coconut. It feels so good. A woman let me put my pen inside her. Congratulations. I'll be sure to make sure I'm loading up a toke for that. I just cleaned my piece and I have nothing to smoke yet, so. Oh my god. Can we just get a new radio? This is terrible. Like, I literally like started moving my grinder and it started getting out of whack. Like, holy balls. I just want this thing. There we go.
Entrepreneurs and thought leaders. And what if you could earn that degree in as little as 16 months? 100% online.
Man, that comment's just so hilarious to all look at. A woman let me put my pen inside her. Oh my. Jeez. Talk about snowballing. Damn. Terrible. I have an effect on this, like, seriously. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. But I haven't seen this individual situation in a while. But it's all good. I was gonna have some. What was I gonna say? I was starting to stream with having something in mind, and I totally blanked on it now. What was it? Like, I was talking with you about it. Oh yeah, it was about yeah, okay. I totally remember now. All right. It thanks weed, but it's actually about weed. So I got mostly like this like indica CBD stuff at the moment. Like, well, a mixture of both in here, and I'm out of like my sativa head high shit, and I'm just like, oh, I'm looking for a particular high, but I don't have the strains for it, and it's like, oh, and there's no vehicle. And there's no dispensary close enough for me to just ride my bike to one. I mean, I could, but it'll take a pretty long while, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to take like 40 minutes to go down there on my bike on a fat adventure. I mean, I could take the bus, but my pass expired, and I don't want to waste another $250 just to deal fast shit. It's just like, eh. It's like, eh. So it's just like, well, and I was like, all right, well, I'll trade with Robert here. I'll trade with him a little bit. I'll be like, hey, is it alright if I had a couple nugs of some of your stuff for a couple nugs of my stuff? He's like, well, I'm out. I'm nearly out too. He got his thing, and it was just one fat nug, and I'm like, oh, well, I ain't gonna try to jip you out of that, nah. Like, go ahead, never mind. So it's just like, dang, I'm sitting here, just like wanting a particular thing, and I'm just unable to. It's not like I can't. I mean, with enough weed, I probably could, but it's just like I don't want to do that hardcore. Oh, and I think the ride is actually back anyway, but I plan on being here only 1 hour, and we will still have time. If that's the case, I know places. I know. I can show you Puddletown because it's not really not that far away. It's you know Powell, right? Yeah, I mean it's off of a second Powell's. It's a pretty chill spot, and like when I got the quarter of the lemon kush and the eighth of that wedding cake the first time, that was only $45. Yeah, that's great. I mean, I pretty much got like what 2 years ago was the price of an eighth plus a gram. That is now a quarter plus an eighth. So it's just like 3/8 for $45. Like, I mean, marijuana just got cheap, man. It's just, I don't know what happened, dude. It just got cheap here. I like it, but I feel so bad because, unfortunately, individuals like you can't get it. Well, I know you're going to probably move to Washington, Oregon here, but man, it's just like for other people, like poor Joe here, poor Carl, like, those motherfuckers can't get it. They have to, like, rely on a dealer who may or may not know where it came from or might grow it themselves, and it's just like, it's gray area. It's like, it's unfortunate. It's a sad case. But times are changing. Times are doing changing.
If you really think about it, we already have a lot of people who are already...
Like, there's even people I'm realizing that I thought probably didn't like weed that much, or are just totally open to chill with it. And I'm just, like, because one of the coworkers who I used to go to school with is working there now, and I found out he's pretty chill with weed, and I honestly thought the dude was like, I didn't know what his opinion was, but I thought it was probably going to be against it or something. But he's totally chill with it, open to try it and stuff. It's like, sweet, sweet. Just like everyone's just chill with it now. It's like it's everyone's favorite plant. Everyone loves it.
Birth control, Nathan. I mean, I don't get it.
Birth control.
Making babies if you're taking birth control or wearing a rubber. Way it goes. Right. Okay. If you have more death in life, then it's already
so what's this conversation about tonight anyway? I guess it's about sex or about birth control or sure. I mean, if it's about like if he's talking about like birth control and
then why the hell are you caring? That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I don't know his argument with it. That's, well, I'm not gonna find out for like 5 minutes. You put it out, and now you're trying to light it again.
They're trying to burn something.
Yep. It's like if he. I mean, it sounds like he's like advocating for just like. It sounds like he's. What sounds like I don't know. Just what I got, just overhearing some of that stuff. Thanks to Trump, unemployment rate is now 0%. Citation needed. Yeah, that's all I'll have to say. I mean, there's also a thing such as underemployment too. So I mean, even though if there's zero unemployment, does that factor in underemployment? And also, if that is someone working multiple jobs, I mean, it's different factors. It dropped from 2% to 0%. Well, I mean, that still doesn't help. It doesn't help me much because I don't know if those are actual numbers. I mean, for all I know, you could just be like, there you go. I mean, that's all I could, potentially see you be doing. I don't know. I mean, just unemployment doesn't exist.
When you buy a timeshare, give them a
I mean,
check to fill out any amount they want.
last time, okay. I mean, if underemployment is 0%, then how come it doesn't factor in like one of my friends who doesn't have a job currently yet? He, granted, is still going through interviewing processes with multiple jobs and currently, but he still doesn't got one yet right now. So it's like he's not employed. He's unemployed. So I don't know if it's 0%. Could just be, again, a number that doesn't mean anything. I don't know, man. Just if you got like a little link I can check out, he's lying. How does a friend lie about not having, like, I hang out with him, I would know if he has a job or not. Like, what? Can you help me decipher this?
Okay.
If a friend doesn't have a job, though is trying to get a job, of course, and the national unemployment rate is at literally 0%, but yet there's people who are unemployed, you know, for example. Well, supposedly,
Everybody's working?
I mean, supposedly, like, from well, America's now great and prosperous thanks to Trump. I don't think so. I agree. Yeah, I don't think so. Things seem to not, like, it's been pretty
better than what it was for Obama, but it ain't 0%.
Yeah, like, I mean,
not everybody's,
yeah, like
not
the rate,
working.
yeah, like the unemployment rate has been on a steady decline even after Obama's administration. Yeah, that's just facts. Yeah.
So another, we're not passing any unemployment checks out right now. Everybody's working.
I guess to the comments here, your friend is just putting out old liberal lies because he hates the president. What? It literally has nothing. What? Dude,
maybe watching your mind.
Dude, what? Huh? Okay, come on. What? Like, dude, what? Like, if you're trying to, like, mentally confuse, try to see if I'm doing mental gymnastics or nothing, I'm not. I'm just highly confused. It's just like, what? What? It's like, huh? Like, this is my thing about, like, the loyalism with Trump's, like, shit's still not, like, you know, going great, and, like, what? Like, no, come on, pump them brakes there, boy, pump them brakes. Alright, good set, pump them brakes. Just gotta go like, and pump the brakes. Like, holy shit. Like, oh, damn. I don't know what went going on there. Why does YouTube not want to, like, just, like, Trump was mentioned in the Bible. Okay, now you're just trolling. You're trolling. That was the breaker. Trump was mentioned in the Bible. Like, nope. What? Okay, there's no way. At this point on, the seriousness of these comments have derailed to 0. My seriousness rate has went to 0%, unlike the unemployment rate. But all right. So that was a very shitty, witty comments. So I will now smoke myself out. Actually, hold up. I love this, like, 20s vibe I get with this radio. It's so, like, fuzzy. It's just scratchy, softy. It's like, ooh. Now it feels like home. This place used to feel like a terrorist war zone, and now it feels like home.
He said will always act in our national interest. We reject the ideology of globalism, and we embrace the doctrine of patriotism.
Well, those are just platitudes and cliches. What does that mean? Like,
describe the experience of going from pure terror to absolute bliss. This is CBS News.
Like, huh? I mean, couldn't you be, like, patriotic about the world too? Be like, I want to, like, you know, like, I don't know, like, huh? I love like those simple cliches and platitudes that, you know, that rile people up and stuff. It's just like, huh? Like, it's alright if you can back it up, but nothing backed that up. It was like, huh? It was essentially just an empty statement.
school. It was just proximate to the middle school.
Lieutenant Jennifer Bills says by
I just
standards
invested
up to
money in a taco truck.
his condition isn't known.
If that is true, that's actually kind of dope, because I support taco trucks. Taco trucks are pretty good. Like, there's one right by my campus at college, and I go to them like every day for like 4 tacos, and it's so good. They're like $1.50 for a taco, and they're just amazing. And you know, they're just like little, these little round things, but they're so good, and they're so filling. And I have like an hour and a half between classes during this time when I get lunch there. So I have like this fat siesta nap right afterwards, and it's just so good. It's like, oh. Like, there's something about, like, Hispanic and Latino food that's just so good, but just makes you want to sleep hella hard, dude. Like, wouldn't you agree? Like, if you had a fat burrito, you just want to, like, just crash. Like, I mean, there's just something about it. Like, every time I get a burrito at Super Burrito, which is just right down the street, I always feel so sleepy and nappy right afterwards. I think there's been a few times I've ate one of the burritos on the stream, and I'm just like, kind of tired, just like, hey, what's up? Hey, yeah, cool. It's just like I'm tired all of a sudden. Something about them Super burritos, dude, they just like will knock you out. Something about just that Latino, Hispanic food that just will knock you out and just make you want to sleep. But they really appreciate their naps, I guess. I guess maybe it's the cilantro or something, I don't know. I think it might be cilantro. But it could be anything, I don't know. Something about it. There's just something about it.
The only spot I'm really seeing is 205 southbound from the I-84 interchange down to
I like how YouTube 16 minutes in starts to notify a few more people. I just love it. Thank you. Thank you, YouTube. At least I know I have like an auto share thing for Twitter, so there's at least like outlets where I'm being branched off at, so it's like not bad, but it's like, eh. Thanks, YouTube, for just not being a good old independent content supporter. My company is named Frank's Tacos and Pest Control Service Incorporated.
It's a great week of weather coming up. I'm Matt Spino for FM News 101.
Okay.
67 degrees, 68 in Beaver, 70 here in Portland. I'm Dave Potter.
It's trademarked.
Stay connected with FM
Frank's Tacos and Pest Control Services. Why do you need the pest? What's the pest control? Why do I need pest control with my taco? Do we get a complimentary contract for like a free like pest control inspection when we get a taco or something? Me, Yamoa. Yo mom. Yoma. We do multiple things, evidently. Like an equity firm. Do all sorts of shit. Jeez, I got like this strain of hair over here or something that just wants to like stick to my forehead. It's annoying. Also, we sell meth. Well, I have no objections to anything that you got going on with your business. So sell all the meth you want. But I'll warn you, the authorities might have just caught you. It's not possible for the unemployment rate to be 0. Yeah, like, even if you tried, you literally couldn't have the unemployment rate at 0 because there's some people who just can't work for whatever reason, you know? So, you literally couldn't. As much as you would like it, I mean, as much as I would even like it, that's just something that's just unfeasible, so you just have to have policy to alleviate a lot of negative factors about that unemployment. Like, for example, if they can't work for, like, let's say they have a paralyzed, like from the waist down or something, they can't use their legs, or, you know, they are an amputee or something like that, I don't know, or they got like a genetic disorder or, you know, physical or mental. Which, statistically speaking, is beyond unlikely, and it wouldn't be a good thing. Yeah, like, again, there would... It just wouldn't... At least in this current system, it definitely wouldn't be possible. Like, I think in a futurist society, or in, like, a future far down the line society, I think it's possible. But that requires, like, a lot of... Like, that would... Like, I only see that really possible with like, I don't know. I mean, it's very hard to try to alleviate a zero unemployment, and to, especially in this system, I don't think it is likely. So, I mean, I don't, like, thinking right now, I wouldn't really exactly know what the best plausible. I meant to say plausible. There's not a single person in America without a job in healthcare. But I wish. I legit wish. I wish there's not a single person in America without healthcare. I wish everyone had that. With a job, I wish we can at least offer that opportunity for a job, a right to have one, and to, strive to get one. If you can't immediately get one right offhand, then there'll be resources to help you. I agree with that. Take economics 101 course or equations. I want to actually do take an. I had one lined up, but it was full, and I couldn't get into it. But
we can spin every time. Basically, it stopped on this, and that's all.
You just got wow, you just hit a jackpot. Well, yeah, obviously, yeah, nice. Yeah, but homelessness is a conspiracy theory. Okay, I'm questioning what to do with you at this moment. I am questioning now. You're testing the waters, boy. Testing the waters, which, hey, I don't mind. Someone needs to test my authority here. It's comments like these that have made me believe that Mike Johnson is being sarcastic most of the time. He is. It's just so absurdist. It's just like I question what to legitimately do with it. Above comment. At least we all understand. At least we all understand what's the key premise here is just to troll and be sarcastic. How do you know it's not satirical genius? Well, that's also true. I can only take your word, can't I? Which, unfortunately, doesn't mean shit anymore. I still have value in just someone's word and trust when I think it will have an actual effect and meaning. Like, I'm like, all right, I can trust this person, and I can actually trust their word with it. Did you hear about the massive plot twist of Kavanaugh? Oh my God. If it's about the accusations, then a little bit, but whether that's true or not, that's not why, I have, a hate boner for the dude. So, I mean, I think I know what you're talking about, but it's just I don't care that much, that's not my main. Yes, but it gets better. I guess it must have been updates. Alright, well, let's hear it. Let's hear it, my boy. The media's trying to get us to worship Kim Kardashian's ass instead of...
I just worry.
Okay, that one made me actually laugh. I'll give you that one. Remember the lawyer Stormy Daniels? Oh, yes, Avenatti. Yeah, he is getting involved. Dude, so the lawyer for Stormy Daniels, Michael Avenatti, he's getting involved in the Kavanaugh case with his accusations. He's, got two anonymous people who want to, come out and shit. It's, dude, that smarmy little egotistical, slimy scumfuck of a lawyer is just trying so hard to just get notoriety in media. And they just hand it to him. It's like he knows he's just gonna get handed this media attention and popularity when he does this shit, so he's just doing it because he knows it's gonna help him. Soon not to be anonymous. Yeah, it's just the first case, I think, there's some merit to it, but I'm still skeptical, which is why there should still be a trial and investigation. But with these other accusations, I'm starting to think are just bullshit, especially with the Avenatti thing. If Avenatti's involved, then fuck that. You got someone from the State Department with security clearances to testify. Oh my God. Oh. And oh man, I highly doubt that person has anything that happened with him, because he only is just recently around the White House and shit in the State Department. So oh my God, this is not how this is like, popularity for Kavanaugh is just honestly tanked, so not a lot of people just like him anyway, for a multitude of reasons, really. But I mean, but it's just like, this is not how you can. If you want to really get him, this is not how you do it. Like, I mean, the guy voted for like the NSA and the Patriot Act and shit, which like basically revoked your Fourth and Eighth Amendment rights and shit. Like, the dude is and he was super vague on like specific questions on court hearings and shit during the appointment. Like, there's a lot of questionable shit, and the guy's also just an establishment insider. Like, why the fuck do we want that type of dude in office, or in the Supreme Court office? I should say, clarify. He hasn't released all the details yet, but he said that she has information about the party in question. Well, I mean, this is like I said, this isn't like how I think we should go about going to get at Kavanaugh, but I mean, I'm not gonna, like, that doesn't mean I still think this shouldn't happen. Like, if there's, like, you shouldn't, like, not, if you have, like, a case or whatever, then, make your case. And if these people are anonymous and haven't said much yet, then I'm not going to say no, fuck them. They haven't, and don't believe them. But is it likely that they're probably bullshitting? Yeah. Especially if I have a Anani involved, yeah. If he's sold it forward, then he isn't, he isn't hot for office. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Republicans would agree. Yeah. I mean, I just think that this whole big rabbit hole of, like, accusations, like, it's being weaponized. Like, the Me Too movement is basically weaponized at this point. Ford is independent of Anani. No, I don't know much about Ford in this situation, but I just know pretty much all the information up to that point that we were discussing. I don't know much about Ford being independent, and where he fits in with all this. I haven't heard his name that much in this. But, I mean, it's like, though we kind of have to agree a little bit. The Me Too movement has been pretty much weaponized politically. I mean, we can kind of see this at this point. Like, it's diluted the merits of what that movement was initially meant to be about, which is actually going against people who are genuinely fucking sexually repulsive people, like Harvey Weinstein and that type of ilk. Like, now we're just using it for accusations from from the 80s. What? Like, they're like, if this was like in 2008 or some shit, that's one thing, but this is like 30 some years ago. Like, I mean, damn. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a very complicated issue, and again, it's just like what their private business is, I don't care much about. But if there's like some bullshit that happened, then there should be investigation and trial and convict whatever crimes and bullshit happened. But it doesn't affect me personally, so I just don't care. I care about the substance of what that guy can do in the Supreme Court, and I don't like it. Whatever information has been about came out, because it's a lifetime appointment and needs extra vetting. If it was elected office, it probably wouldn't matter. She was the original accuser who wrote that letter to the Center. Yeah, Dianne Feinstein, I believe. But, it's because it's lifetime appointment. Oh, yeah, I read that. Well, I totally agree. And we, like, it shouldn't, like, the fact that we appoint Supreme Court picks in a very, like, political fashion instead of a more of the principle of what law is type of fashion and what the Constitution is type of fashion. I mean, that just really kind of disturbs me, honestly. Just seeing with Kavanaugh and what was the guy that Obama appointed in? I'm forgetting on his name. I'm blanking on it, but he's kind of like centricity-ish. I don't know. I'm forgetting his name, but I mean, like, their ideology leanings is totally one thing, but for a certain political agenda, it's just a totally different thing. You know what I mean? Maryland? Oh yeah, McGarland. Yes, Maryland McGarland. Yeah. Like, I mean, that, I mean, he's like okay, but it's like, I mean, but he's still was definitely put in there for, political agenda. It's just like, I I mean, at this point, politics is just, personal agendas at this point, which is fucked up. It's just a fucked up thing. And like it can't just be about the agenda of the people and the agenda of the prosperity of your nation and the prosperity of helping the world and shit. Like, I think those should be like the main key things, like bringing about world, stability in your nation, prosperity of your, people and your nation, technologically, economically, and etc. And then world peace and prosperity for the rest of the world. Help bring that out after you got your stuff. They're trying to showcase Republicans obstructing moderate nominee. Yeah, because Republicans obstruct pretty much everything Democrats did in the Obama administration. Like Ted Cruz even shut down the government to try to handcuff Obamacare and shit, or Medicaid, or Medicare or whatever. It's just like, really fuck. So now they have to water down and walk back to try to find something that they will be like, all right, we can agree with it. All right, it's like, then pick someone like this. It's like, really, political. Like you have instead of just fighting back, saying, nah, fuck it, we're actually going to try to appoint this guy regardless of what you say. Like, we're still going to push hard, and we're going to, make people. There's major double standards in this country. Now Trump is using the same logic to say Kavanaugh's being treated unfairly at Republicans. Garland and Herron. And I totally agree. I think that is a major double standard. Like, he's Trump is just trying to, give whatever safety net Kavanaugh has left at this point to get his pick in, basically. I mean, that's essentially all that he's trying to do. Even though, at least a lot of the Republican base is also trying to do that as well, and at least in the GOP in Washington. And pretty much the Democrats are just doing the same thing they were right back at when they did it with the other one. I don't know who the initial guy was at first, but I mean, it's just a double standard. Instead of just saying, all right, well, you're just playing our tactics too. They're like, triggered. You're obstructing and treating them unfairly. You're mean. Triggered. Like, what? You did the same thing, bitch. Fuck you. Like, we'll do it too. Like, I mean, I totally agree that's a major double standard. Like, there's double, and that's not even the only double standard in this country. That's not even the first. I don't even think that's even the worst double standard. There's a lot of double standards that both parties play on each other. It's just abysmal. But this turned into Pence casting the deciding vote to confirm the most decisive court nominee since polling on the issue began. Oh my lord. Or could. Turned to Pence casting the deciding vote to confirm the most decisive court since polling on the... alright. Yeah, I mean, it's just a whole... honestly... Whatever truly works withholding his nomination to be appointed is fine by me, really. But if you just want to do it in a more substantive, honest way, just go after his record, go after, some of his policies of what he would probably implement in court. Like, do we really want to have this type of risk and this type of liability in our court, try to, that's how I would at least go about it. They already did that, well, then you keep doing that. I keep hearing more about this accusation than that shit. I'd rather they keep pushing that shit than this accusation. I'd rather have the accusation be background noise to the whole Kavanaugh case than anything else. Drill the hell out of him. Good. I mean, I wish more people drilled him. I don't want just Harris or Booker or whoever to drill them. They can't because Senate rules. Oh my god. I mean, there's a lot of hearings I've seen before where a lot of the Senate hearing, they don't really follow the rules that often. So I don't know. I mean, that part of the confirmation process ended. Well, I mean, it's not even necessarily even about politicians controlling him. It's about just the media doing their job and saying, hey, here's his record, here's like some things he's said about, you know, certain court hearings from the past and certain cases, and et cetera, et cetera. Like, do we really want this type? Like, that's what I'm mainly talking about, is just people spreading that news, you know, essentially, and spreading these drillings in these court hearings, like spread out, you know, like. I'm glad that they did these hearings and drilled him on that type, especially on the substance. And I wish media would just spread that shit all over, just plastered everywhere. Like, I mean, if you want to like try to get him on a substantive way, that's, I think, the way to do it. Just keep hammering down, like, you know, these policies and these views that he has on that are very questionable, and how much of an insider the guy is. Fortunately, media, a lot of the media is establishment insiders themselves, so they won't do it. So it's just like, we gotta have to rely on independent media and you know, content creators on YouTube, essentially, for me to get my news, because they're, to me, a lot more trustworthy than mainstream talking heads that are all robotic and all plastic looking. It's like, I don't want that, and I couldn't give a fuck less about that. I want just like genuine people who just give a shit about issues and want to just like actually feel like, you know, they want to make an impact and do a change and shit, you know what I mean?
I actually posted a TED Talk in my notes today for those to watch and listen to, because if they listen,
oh shit, doing a TED Talk.
But Levy is the writer who put in one book of future
That involves either McConnell or the dude that I forget the name of. To cooperate. Well, Mitch the Turtle McConnell is not going to cooperate. Honestly, I think he's literally the least liked senator in, no, actually, no, scratch that. I think he's actually the most hated, like, politician in the country, just in general. Like, if, like, they did all sorts of random politicians, just, like, that are noted, Mitch McConnell being one of them, like, he'll literally be at the bottom of the list, like, on a lot of them. Like, literally the bottom, amongst, like, a bunch of other repulsive type of figures. So, I mean, he's not liked a lot, and I doubt he's going to cooperate that much. But I think the other guy you're probably thinking is Paul Ryan, I think. I mean, I could be wrong. The TV news has been shit since, like, forever. Writing news stories is so much more insightful. Written. Yeah, I mean, I do agree with that. I mean, TV news, essentially, I mean, it has their golden gems every now and then, but it's, like, it's been shit. It's not Ryan, he has nothing to do with it. Senate only. Okay. Alright, I don't know what I was thinking about Ryan. I don't know who the other person is, and I'm just totally blanking on it then. But, like, it's especially, like, TV media and news media on TV has especially been shit since, like, the 90s onward, especially. Like, a lot of the reason why we got out of the Vietnam War eventually was because we were showing it on TV, and people were like, holy fuck, this is terrible. Like, these villages are getting napalmed, like, our troops are getting shot up, you know, fucked up, and they're in the middle of the desert, and a lot of them look like they're mentally, like, scarred for life, because they are, and probably were. Like, they look... Chuck Grassley, okay, that's the name. Chuck Grassley. He's not really noted as much, but I know the name. But, you know, like, a lot of the reason why is because media, a lot of TV media, I mean, essentially it was also very new, showed a lot of this footage. It was like, you know, here's what's happening in Vietnam. It's pretty bad, ain't it? And just emboldened the civil rights movement. And if TV media wanted to really do its job correctly and honestly and genuinely, it would do the same thing for our interventions we're doing out right now, for the exploitation that Wall Street and the big banks have been doing. A lot, you know, and just go down that list. So, like, how healthcare's fucked up. Show examples. Like, fucking go to these random small town bumfuck communities that have been fucked over for years and generations. Like, you know, and blast it out over the news, and I feel like people will get far more emboldened to do some change and say, hey, you know, this country's fucked up and corrupt, and it's not even necessarily a partisan issue, because we went from places like Alabama to Washington to Oregon to the Dakotas to Maryland to New York. Like, we went all over, you know, like, if they were to actually do a strategy like that, there would actually be a fucking like a neo-civil rights movement like never before, like, but we're never going to get that. That's a very lovely pipe dream that I thought of, but it won't happen. It's like up to small independent media sources to do that, but they can only reach out to so much people, and their money, like how much money, like for example, the Young Turks makes compared to like CNN is minute. It's like chum change to CNN, like what TIT makes. So, like, there's a money disadvantage. So there's so many disadvantages that independent media has to all these big conglomerates that we're fighting against. So it's just systems just got us disadvantaged and disorganized and distracted. It's definitely terrible. I've been sitting on this for a long time. We're actually gonna make sure this is open in case this hits too harsh. You never know. I did just clean the water. Smoke will be more cleaned.
With improving technology and a growing appetite for sexual robots.
Hypersexual. That's fun. Hypersexual robot. It's like they're not programmed to be sexual. It's like they can just like be hypersexual like a person could. It's like there's just robots specifically programmed for sex. It's just like some people are just probably too repulsive for some people, like there's people who are incels. Like if you give them an outlet, or something, give them a sex bot, that'll shut them up for a bit. The incels and the MGTOWs online could shut up with sex bots. Like why not? I mean, in Toronto, Canada, they're also opening up a sex bot brothel or a sex doll brothel. So you can essentially like rent out one of those things. Of course, to clean it very extensively after usage and rentage.
Oh, I hope so.
Well, yeah, of course. And it's basically like, hey, we're a brothel, but we're not like an actual brothel. So it's a little cleaner. And there's no chicks, there's no bitching or complaining, and there shouldn't be no fighting. So you got your rooms. Here's our selection of dolls. Have fun. It's just like pick your fancy, go. Here's a room. We'll lock the door for you, and you can unlock it from the inside. And once you're done with your session, you can walk out. We'll sort payment, and then you'll be on your way, and we'll do the duties of cleaning your mess. It's like that's a good step. That's a good, I'm okay with that. I don't mind these areas. I personally want to go do it myself. I got other ways to, find my desires and shit. I don't need to go there. But it's like, okay. I mean, if people want to find ways for sexual desire, they will do it. They'll find a way. I mean, as soon as robots became a concept that people thought about, it was like instant. It's like, how do I fuck it? It's like, we're like so conspicuous in this nature. We just so are. It's just I don't know, like the best way to like how or why like that would be. It's just one of those. It's just a natural thing, and because of our curiosity, we just expand on it a lot. Another contradiction. It's not prostitution if you film it. Yeah, that's funny. Hey, want to do a porn film? I'll pay you. Wait a minute. Hey, wanna fuck? I'll pay you. Wait, wanna fuck and film it? I'll pay you. Like, it's literally just the addition of wanna fuck and film it and I'll pay you. It's the and film it for a porno, if you want to get more clarified. And it's just like, can't we just take that last part out and just make prostitution legal? Because if you regulate it and make sure that women who are hired for this sex work, and some people just want to do that type of line of work. There are some people who are just straight up interested in that. I can stop them. As long every like day basically they need to get like tested, and there has to be like protection, and like these are like some basic regulations that you can do. And tax them like you would tax anything else, like marijuana, tobacco, sodas. Like we tax a lot of stuff, just the same thing with this. And it'll get rid of a very big black market of prostitution and sex trafficking. That market would be very crippled. And that would be a very good thing. I think, I mean, it won't expand on deviancy. It just legalizes it, makes it a lot more safer. So if you are so inclined to said deviancy, then at least you won't get AIDS or some shit. At least you'll be safe. And, you know, it's like, I mean, it's just kind of I mean, I just feel like with just the basic, like, you know, if you're being safe and it's consenting adults and ain't harming you, and no one ain't getting harmed or whatever, then what's the problem? Speaking of taxing soda, a misleading ballot measure in Oregon would preemptively ban any taxes on soda. What measure is it? I'll look into it. Oh, what do you think about Measure 103? Because I'm thinking of voting. Because at my work, we have so many things on vote. Yes, on Measure 103. And, like, we're plastered full of that type of shit. And it's just like, what's this even about? I don't know what it is. It's like, I guess voting yes on it is supposed to I guess it's supposed to keep groceries tax-free, but but when I saw the vote for no, or like what would happen, this is a really weird measure, dude. I gotta, like, I don't even know all the details. I don't even want to try to explain it. I'll sound like, oh, that's the one. Oh, but it's not just sodas. I think it's just groceries as well. So, I don't know, but I'm just gonna, like, I'm not gonna just vote no, but I'm really inclined to vote, like, if I were to vote for it right now, I'd most likely vote no, but I need to get the fucking shit in the ballot system. Yeah, but it encompasses a lot. I bet. I know, like, I can tell. And it looks very, like, this is why midterms are so important, and it's kind of shameful that not a lot of people pay attention to midterms, because this is kind of an important measure that I feel like I should really know more about, and I just don't, especially in this time with the elections coming up. I'm registered in Montana, so I don't have to worry about it. Nice. Well, hey, try to get Montana to get a little bit more bluish purple or something. I gotta help Tester instead. Hey, go right ahead. I mean, what type of measures and shit are going on in Montana, speaking of which? I mean, we got Measure 103, which is, I guess, supposed to, like, prohibit grocery taxes, or something like that. It's a weird thing. I don't know. I don't know much info, but you got anything on your end in Montana there, boy? Montana's not as conservative as most people think. Oh, I mean, that's why I say purple, because they're libertarian, if anything. They're very libertarian and, like, moderate Dems. That's kind of how they are. They're like the Republicans there are like Dixiecrats, like moderate Democrats and blue dog Democrats, essentially. That's kind of like the Republicans there. And then like the far, right ones are like, very far and few between. They're just very, very fiscally conservative libertarian. Like, that's just how yes, very libertarian and anti-outside influence. Oh yeah, I see that about Montana, and I have value into that. Like, I do have like a anti-outside influence, but a lot of the policies I have are by definition outside influence, because federal government's outside influence. Not as fiscally conservative as you think. Well, libertarianism is pretty fiscally conservative. I'm pretty moderate fiscally. Well, I mean, I only know from what my family is, and my granddad, at least, who lives in Montana, is very fiscally conservative as fuck. Like, it's like, he knows a lot about economics. Don't get me wrong. Like, he's actually very intelligent about economics. It's just that, and really pro-public land. Well, I love that, actually. I love public land. I don't mind, I kind of wish that we had more public land and national parks and national refuges like that. Like, we need more. I just kind of wish we need to have some more. Like, we need to just, stay in the environment of what we got left. That's how I view it. Like, it's possible to expand and also keep our environment sustained and also expand on our national parks and public lands for refuges and stuff. That, it's totally possible. Just gotta build up. Not like up like all up in space and shit. But I mean, it's possible to build up instead of expanding outward. Like Portland has to kind of build up, considering it's in the middle of a valley and shit. And I mean, but it can't build up too much, so it's in a weird predicament. But for a lot of places, it doesn't really need to expand as out as much as they are. I mean, you can a lot of these like a lot of cities. I'm not like saying even every city, but like some cities I could see being more not like condensed. I don't even know how to explain it, but I mean, it's kind of I don't know. It's kind of complicated. For example, an anti-abortion amendment failed to make the ballot. Oh, that's good. Well, it seemed because, I mean, a lot of libertarianism is just like, the only interesting one is Medicare expansion. Well, I mean, that should just be healthcare for all expansion. But, yeah, I mean, I wonder what the interesting thing about it is over there. Is it just contested? Like, just a lot of people are very contested on the issue? Which can make sense because, I mean, Trump and the Republicans have been continuously make this a contested issue, while Democrats don't even, half of them or most of them don't even fight for a healthcare for all solution. Instead, just paddle along and try to resist, and defend, whatever we got. It's just like, okay, can't you go with those and fight for healthcare for all? I wasn't expecting it to be on the ballot. I don't know what chance of it passes is. Oh? Well, if you want it, I don't know. If any of your local newspapers or something like that, or local news stations are talking about it, go ahead and Tester wins by a lot. It will pass pretty easily. Well, just check out your local newspapers and your local news outlets. Check the polling data. Check stats. Check the statistics on it. Because that won't tell you if it will or not, but it'll give you a prediction of where it might go. So if Tester's likely to win over there, then it'll probably be likely that that expansion will go through as well. But if it's really contested of Tester, then it's probably going to be contested with that. They aren't. Everyone's only talking about school levy removal. That would probably pass. The school levy removal, is that is that a budget cuts? Because we got one too here for North Clackamas School District, and honestly, it should be voted no on because it would actually expand on to oh no, wait, no, yes, never mind, yes, vote yes, no for university system. Well, I mean, I'm just talking about for what's going on here, but we got like a whole levy budget system we have going on here, but levy removal no for university. Well, all right. Well, for over here it's a budget, so yeah. But if voted yes, it will expand on the budget to help not have cuts, but if we voted no, then it will have to cut like a month into the school year, like condense classes, cut teachers, cut programs. It's just like instead of having to defend what the little we fucking have left, can't we just expand on it? We have a pamphlet. I got a fucking pamphlet saying, hey, defend these budgets because they might get cut. It's like, what the fuck? Can't we be like, hey, vote for this expansion budget for your education? It's like, I'm yes to that? Hell yeah. Like, anyone who would vote no to expand on education is fucking ridiculous. Like, education should be like one of the number one priorities in the fucking nation. And yet, we're like barely defending if we can like cut, education budgets or not. Nice. Nice, America. It's not just, a problem here. It's so much worse in other places. It's not what it is. It's a renewal of money they've been getting for years. I mean, are you talking about what your thing is on the school levy or mine, because I have like a straight up pamphlet about it. I can read you it. It's in there. I can grab it. But I'm just mainly talking about, yeah, Montana. Yeah. Well, what I was talking about was the North Clackamas School District thing. They gave us a pamphlet, and I was talking about the details of that. Essentially, just like it's a levy removal, but it's a levy budget defense from getting cut. Basically, it's just like, hey, here's a measure to defend, your education, budgets for being cut. It's just like, what? Can't we expand instead? Like, no shit, that's not good. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, it's like, I looked at this, I'm like, this disgusts me. I weep that this is like what I'm having to fucking read right now. It's just like, can't we just say, hey, this is an expansion for education instead? Like, I literally would not give a flying fuck if I had like my taxes increased or anything like that because we had to expand on our education budget. I don't know, I really don't know about anyone else, but for me, it really is the number one priority. If we don't educate, young people, especially for at least, simple shit like critical thought and just how to like live in the world and whatever, then, and have just basic core, the education properties like math, English, writing, etc. I mean, and just basic general knowledge and general understanding and stuff, then what type of fucking society are we gonna have?
About men finding love with their OS, it's because they are isolated and they feel bad and they don't feel like that they can make a move. I told the story before I met Janine and I had cancer. I used to lay in bed at night watching Sex in the City. Okay.
Sex in the City.
When I watched that, I realized something. I thought, well, if women are that vapid, super
I gotta stretch real quick. Oh my god.
Ever.
I gotta like lift this.
Especially now after I've had cancer and gained weight, no woman will want to have me. I met Janine, and she was the exception to the rule, and she and I fell in love, and it was awesome. But see, I was so scared, and I did run into a lot of women that were that way. And I just worry about that with other men. Some men, that were vapid or accusatory. They're accusatory. They're vapid. I was thinking that was the norm.
Did you hear that Trump got laughed off stage today at the UN?
And if you're a man, you watch it. You feel a little bit
really
good about it because you see how
seriously.
There was this one I watched where the guy was really nice and he gave poetry and he gave her
the clown finally went to the world stage and got laughed upon. Everyone was saying it, and then it happened. He got laughed off the world stage. Nice. If that doesn't hurt his ego and is going on a Twitter tantrum on that, then it really got him. It really got to his head. Like, that would be a little weird if he didn't. Because, like, to be laughed by basically every world leader from the UN, or, pretty much most of the UN, and they laugh you off stage. Did a big speech about how he was the most successful president in history, and seemed all surprised he didn't take it well. Oh, the most successful president in history. Oh, that is rich. Oh, that is a gem. That's a gem.
How have you been on social media? No.
I'll just say FDR. I rest my case. I won't say anything else, just FDR. I rest my case. I won't say anything else. I don't, if I have to, it will feel stupid.
Then you're going to have a problem. Young people's social networks are on their video
like,
games now.
that's, yeah. If you said that, you deserve to get laughed off. Oh my god.
Yeah, occasionally he's got a few friends.
And people make like an argument that he's like does very great for the country, even though he's very terrible for the world. It's like, if he's terrible for the world, how is he good for here? Like, what? I mean, that, for me, that logic doesn't compute. I was just thinking he should be on by now. I meant to be on earlier, but I had some shit to do, and now I'm free. So, yeah, I've been doing it. Been on for an hour. Stefan, or Rip City Base Looks Here, just informed me of Trump getting laughed off the stage of the UN, which I'm just I'm just like, everyone was saying that you are the clown of on the world stage, and now you literally became the clown on the world stage. He also seemed surprised the UN was unreceptive to him going against multilateralism. What happened at the UN? I just found out about this, but Trump went to the UN, went on stage, talked about how he was the most successful president in history, got laughed off the stage, and I guess he went off against multilateralism. Also heard about he was tweeting about war with Iran. Well, he's been doing that for a while. And Rudy Giuliani says that they just straight up want to overthrow the Iranian government. So yeah, we're probably gonna go to war with Iran. I actually feel like that's gonna happen. I just feel like we're going down that path. Like the rhetoric, the administration around him. For someone who says he's going to pull out of Afghanistan and Iraq during the primaries, you're escalating a war with Iran, and you escalated 7 interventions to 8 in Niger. Dropped a Moab in Afghanistan, which didn't even do anything, I don't even think. It blew out some tunnels and shit that CIA built when Mujahideen was there in the 80s. Nice. Cool. Sweet. What message was that meant to make? That don't fuck with us because, you know, we're imperialists? Alright. Nice. Let me guess, Trump doesn't need congressional approval because of the Patriot Act? Yeah. Yep. That's how he got instigated in Niger and how we just quietly let that slide. Yep. That's how we were able to get 2 interventions into 7 with Obama, and then now 8. And we're probably going to make that 9 with Iran. And that one's going to be probably more boots on the ground than Iraq was, because that's a more stable military and a more stronger military than Iraq was when we went in there. Whew. And also being backed by Russia, and also having being financially backed by China as well. China's involved too, by the way. Yeah, good. Yeah, let's just instigate that. Let's escalate with China and Russia while we're at it. Nice, great. Like, if we go to war with Iran, what's to stop us from going to war with Russia at that point? Like, this is gonna, if we go to war with Iran, that's gonna be very bad, and I don't even know what the fuck will happen if that were to happen. It will be terrible, and I just legit wouldn't know. It just would derail a lot of the stability that we've been building up globally. I think China wants to escalate. I think Trump wants to escalate with China. I think he does too. Not Putin and Trump are buddies. Not really. No, not really. Like, he threatened Germany to buy oil, buy American oil, because they're buying oil from Russia. Why? If they're buddies, he would encourage Germany to buy more oil from Russia, wouldn't he not? But he's not. He's trying to make Germany buy oil from the U.S. He did that about a month ago. He also bombed a Russian air base in Syria that had a Russian aircraft and didn't hit anything, luckily. But because then American corporations make money? Yeah, because it benefits American corporations. So Trump's doing American corporation spending, not Putin's bidding, so they're not buddies. He's not like a puppet. Like, he's probably buddies to Russian oligarchs and international big banks and oligarchs like Deutsche Bank and shit, but that doesn't have a direct connection with them. And in fact, if they were buddies, that wouldn't, I would prefer that, because that means we wouldn't be going to war with Russia or Iran, but yet we are. Or at least we're instigating for Iran. I don't know about Russia so much right now. That's been kind of quiet, thankfully. But with Iran, it hasn't. They're accused for our professional competent sectarians in the brink of war. Persian nation will put up a fight they always have. Oh yeah, oh, I've noticed. Yeah, I mean, the last 2 nights have been really great. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been like that the last 2 nights. They've been pretty great.
What would it take for you to get a tattoo you didn't want? $1 million?
Look at it this way. Trump did nothing with Russia and Syria. We're about to invade Idlib. Turkey alone was able to hold it off. But who's in Idlib? Who's the rebels in there? It's Al-Qaeda. It's jihadists. So why are we supporting Islamists who, one of them straight up did a terrorist attack on us? So, like, why are we Syrian, the Syrian Revolution? Yeah, like, the Syrian Civil War, Revolution, whatever it is. Like, the rebels have been mostly consisted of Islamists and jihadists and warlords who encourage that or are indifferent to that. Like, the Al-Qaeda is CIA backed. It wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. Because, I mean, we've been backing a lot of rebels, and also there's been, I forgot his name, but there was some senator or congressman or something a year or two ago back who was like, or I think it was a general, actually. I think it was a general. In an military advisor, and he was like, maybe we should arm Al-Qaeda. They are fighting Assad. Maybe we should disarm them. You know, make them our buddies. Yeah, let's arm the terrorists that took out the Twin Towers on 9/11. Great idea. Nice. There are 3 people there only. Best stats from Turkey. Well, yeah, and I mean, these extremists should be dealt with, but if Assad and everyone else is 60% of the rebels in Syria are Islamists and jihadists, like Hal said. Yeah, and if we're supporting these rebels, then by definition we're supporting 60% of 60% of our support goes to terrorists, and a lot of them. And would you rather that population head to Europe? No, I'd rather not that I'd rather these extremists and jihadists either be defundamentalized and de-radicalized or just taken care of. And if they're going to be taken care of violently because they're violent themselves, then so be it. And that's what's been happening in Idlib. Assad's been taking care of them violently because they're violent warlords and jihadists. Then the invasion has to be avoided. Like, what do you mean by an invasion? Like, the invasion of, like, refugees in Europe, or the invasion into Europe has enough Islamists already? Yeah. I mean, that also doesn't help that Saudi Arabia funds mosques all over Europe, scattered all over the place, that are Wahhabis and Salafist in nature, which help encourage radicalization of Islam. So that doesn't help either. I mean, which encourages their already fundamentalist culture that, you know, they were already born into. Syria will be a grounds for war. I mean, it already is. It already is. I mean, just the other week, there was a Trump administrator that says we're going to have permanent occupation of Syria. It's like, oh, great. So continue the wars, continue the endless military spending. Nice. Let's just waste some more money on dropping bombs on a fucking desert rock that, you know, most people can't even fucking plant, you know, a harvest for themselves for food at this point, with how much we bombed the fuck out of it and how much we've destroyed and destabilized that region. It's not just us. The U.S. has a zero occupation of Syria. They just said they're putting an indefinite occupation and intervention in Syria. And they don't have literal ground troops in Syria, but they have special forces and drone bases as well. Like, it's not... Turkey Free Syrian Army has Idlib. Okay, well, I mean, to be fair, I don't even know what's specifically happening in Idlib right now. But Russia/Assad have the rest. Alright, well, I mean, like, to support these, like, I'd rather honestly support Assad, because I find him to be a little bit more stable in this region. I don't condone his actions or whatever. Like, I mean, I'd still find him to be a dictator and a piece of shit, but it's definitely better than these rebels that we've was able to hold off the invasion. Yeah, like, I mean, I'd rather just like have peace in this region, or at least stable armistice and a stable non-aggression policy going on here. But with kebabs/Islamists, well, I mean, that's the thing. That's a very hard thing to do. It definitely is. Like, a lot of it has to definitely be a long-term use with influence and cultural influence, just by the fact that I think Western culture is just better. But a lot of the short-term is trying to deal with a lot of these radical, violent fundamentalists. hounding up 10,000 people isn't worth the displacement death of 2.9 million others.
That's the problem. You don't
I don't
get
think
that.
it. Well, I don't think it. Well, hounding up 10,000 people isn't worth displacement. Well,
Alternatives are pornography,
slash death of
prostitution,
2.9 million
sex
others.
dolls, brothels. It's our future.
Well, like,
Back.
or like, what do you mean specific? Like, hold on. Are we on? Like, I want to make sure we're on the same page here. First of all, like, okay, so are we talking about like these in Idlib here, where there's still a rebel force, right? And that is resisting Assad, which is backed by Russia. Like, all right, so what's the implication? Okay, all right. So I missed the part about this invasion thing here. Is Assad like threatening to invade Turkey? Is that what is? Was that the issue? Let Assad do the fighting. Yeah, I mean, why? Like, honestly, I don't even like the idea of Russia backing Assad either. Like, I'd rather he deal with deal with his own country's issues and actually solve the civil war himself and shit. Like, but that was instigated by a proxy war anyway, so no Idlib. Okay. So the invasion of Idlib, which I believe is in Syria, correct? I mean, Russia and Assad want to invade Idlib. Okay. So is Idlib in Turkey or in Syria? Because if it's in Syria, then they would just be yes to Syria, right? Syria. Okay. Well, how can Assad invade his own state that, like, that confuses me. Like, I mean, if Idlib is in Syria, Assad is, the leader of Syria, wouldn't he just be retaking his town that was invaded already? Like, wouldn't it be like a regaining of lost territory of what was already Syria's before? Or wants to stop invasion to prevent a humanitarian crisis? Well, I mean, Turkey should not be crying about humanitarian crisis while they got, their own fucking problems that are just as, that they got the Kurdish protests, they prosecute the Kurdish, like, the rebels don't recognize Assad's rule. Well, yeah, because they're jihad, and a lot of them are jihadists and warlords for the most part. Like Carl was even stating earlier, 60% of them are jihadists and rebels. So a reason the war to begin with? Well, yeah, because jihadist warlords rose up, started a civil war to try, and how that started, that's could be up for debate. Not current to stats I've seen. Well, I mean, you can DM me or text me the links for them, and I can check them out myself, and I can show you the ones I've seen. It was started by the people. The Turks are just a bunch of Uyghurs. Just a bunch of jank Uyghurs. Jeez. They're just a bunch of jank Uyghurs. Damn. A bunch of jank Uyghurs. What the fuck? 10,000 jihadists. I mean, I don't even know if literally all of them are literally jihadists. But, because I don't know what's going on in that, like, I don't know all about what's going on in that specific issue, but the rest are civilians and refugees. Alright. I mean, again, I don't know much about this whole issue, so I couldn't even give you a definitive, like, solution or whatever. Just because someone's just fighting Assad doesn't mean they aren't a theocrat. Yeah, I mean, Assad is... he's a secular dictatorship. He's like so I would rather have a secularist who sees churches...
Can we play faster?
Who sees church's separation of church and state as a good thing, who isn't theocratic. I mean, I'd rather have that in a region where they're all full theocrats and fundamentalists. To me, that just makes more sense. Like, because that at least can start with a de-radicalization process, because then at least that fundamentalism is at least discouraged. Who uses chemical weapons against civilians? Well, right now, I am not too sure. For recent reports, I've heard, like, of course, there's been claims that Assad has, and there's been claims that the U.S. has, and there's claims that terrorists and the rebels have. I mean, I don't know what's true and what's what, so I can't tell you, and I wouldn't know. Like, there's, like, I don't know. What claims does the U.S. has? Does the U.S. have? Well, during the, like 4 months ago or 6 months ago, when I was reading up about the Syrian issue, this government used chemical weapons against civilians. I mean, we're not I mean, you have to acknowledge that we're pretty much the world police, not in Syria. I guarantee you some of the chemical weapons came from the CIA. Who's shitting UN with flip of shit? The UN flips their shit on the US a lot. Holy shit, the UN flip of shit. But the thing is, they do, but does it stop the US? No. Does anyone get tried or convicted? No. Because we're the US and the strongest military in the world, we can get away with it. By definition, we're allowed to get away with it because we dominate the world. That's the thing, is why we can get away with these type of things, because we're allowed to. Who's going to stop us? That's the thing. When we got literally the world's strongest military and the most funded military, like in our budgets, more than the next 10 nations or some shit. Yeah, we can easily just drop chemical weapons and say, oh, it was Assad, or oh, it was the rebels, and not get away with it, because who's gonna even though the UN may do an investigation and shit, and might reveal some lucrative shit or whatever, ain't gonna do anything. It's not going to stop the fact that the U.S. can get away with a lot of these shit. Why do you think we get into all these interventions? Why do you think we get all these wars? Why do you think we're about to escalate a war with Iran? Because we can get away with it. I mean, I like to be, sometimes I'll, get into this jingoistic American sense, get the mentality of, the American government to kind of prove this point. We have veto power in the UN. Oh, yeah, we're the big five. In the UN, there's 5 nations specifically that have more authority than the rest of the countries because they're nuclear powers. So, we have veto power, along with Russia, and I think it's also China, the UK, and France, along with the US. I think it's those countries. And we could just veto it, and no one can stop us. And yeah, sure, the other 5 nations can bitch and complain about it, but with the UK our ally, and France also somewhat our ally too, Macron's been a butt buddy for Trump too. So, I mean, are they really going to complain about what the U.S. does? Nah, they're not. They won't. It won't benefit them. It benefits them a little bit, Investigations are independent. Yeah, of course they're independent. I mean, they need to be, and they should be independent. But it still doesn't stop. It still ain't going to stop the fact that the U.S. can get away with war crimes, and no one ain't going to stop them. I mean, it should just be expanded from chemical weapons to just war crimes specifically, because we do more than just use chemical weapons. The veto power is only for resolutions. Yeah, for resolutions trying to inhibit a certain foreign policy act that we need to do, we'll just veto that. And also we'll have other nations that we can get in and be like, hey, veto this for us. We'll give you a little compensation, or because you're our friend, or we help you in this intervention. The U.S. military is one of the few modern militaries that still has anti-personnel landmines in supply and ready for usage, because the U.S. can get away with breaking the UN laws. Yep, yeah. And that's not even the start. We still use cluster bombs. And we've sold cluster bombs to Saudi Arabia, which they use in their genocide in Yemen. So, yeah, we still perpetrate war crimes to this day. Though at least the government does. If investigation found that the U.S. used chemical weapons, the U.S. has no power to dissolve the investigation. They have no power to dissolve it, but they have the power to just get away with that because they can. Do you see the point? The speech they left. Yep. left Trump. Yep. We talked about that earlier. It was hilarious. I'm glad. It shows that it at least shows that he's a laughingstock. But if you wanted to really shut them up, he would just actually just use the benefit of the military alone and our imperialistic power around the world to use it to his advantage to shut them up. He's a world joke. Yeah, he is. Yeah, they can get away with it, but at least citizens will know the truth. Yeah, and that's good, and they need to, and that should be shit that's transparent, but even if they did, I mean, if nothing's going to be done about it, then, what's the point? So, there needs to be, like, in order to, the citizens would actually have to use that truth and actually organize behind it and have a movement united on an issue like that. And they would need a public figure, especially someone willing to run for president, that will, if enough citizens get pissed off, leadership can be changed. Yeah, and I actually do agree with that. I mean, we almost saw that with 2016. We kind of see that with 2018 with these midterms coming up. Even with Beto O'Rourke and Ted Cruz, too, you see that. I mean, you see that in the 60s civil rights movement, women's suffrage. I mean, you see it in all sorts of times. We need an anti-corruption candidate, and we need an anti-corruption movement specifically on these issues. Like, I feel like people focus so much on social issues, they forget the real issue that's the problem, which is corruption and money in politics. Like, I mean, if we had an organized movement behind that, we could definitely change this imperialistic fashion that we do, and we can actually use international law and uphold to it. But in the current system we have right now, ain't gonna happen. It just won't. So the people definitely need a political revolution and a need to make that change themselves. Why does Jimmy Whisper hate the Justice Dems? He thinks they're like sold out and SJWs, which SJW point I can kind of understand because there is influences in there. I kind of give them the benefit of the doubt with that, but they didn't sell out. They're not a sold out like movement. Like the movement in itself is a very principled and very populist left movement. And I don't, even I'm a traditional democratic socialist, even I don't see the strong value in how good it actually can be for as a movement, and I want it to be successful and prosper. I mean, I just don't understand it. I mean, I feel like he just memes and is very impulsive and kind of emotional about it. I just I understand where he comes from, but I just. I don't know. I just feel like he is reactionary with it. I feel like he's just a little too reactionary with these type of things. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to put claims into without him here to back it up. We also need a candidate who will commit to immediate withdrawal from combat operations in the Middle East, just all combat operations, and investing in the military. Cut the military budget in half. You can easily fund everything you would need to do to get this country better. Infrastructure, great transition to green renewable energy infrastructure, to a nationalized telecommunications infrastructure, to just getting healthcare, a universal healthcare for all, getting probably student loan debts wiped clean. You could probably pay for that off, maybe. Start working along with our national debt, though I don't think that's really that big of an issue compared to other issues. So, I mean, you easily could. The president doesn't have the power to do any of that, though. Oh, wait, hold on. What if they had to evacuate the convention center at the Polycom because Cenk Uygur takes a shit there? Oh, God. Most of those take 60 votes in the Senate. Executive orders. The president definitely does with an executive order. I mean, Obama was known as the executive order in chief or whatever. So, I mean, if he can do a bunch of executive orders to get some things done, why could? And FDR did too. I mean, he did a bunch of executive orders as well. No, it does seem like that. I mean,
there's nothing artificial about it.
An executive order is literally not. Doesn't have power to write laws. I wasn't saying laws. I'm saying policies. like like policies to actually like do infrastructure policies, like do that type of things and like accents. New Deal was approved by Congress. Well, I mean, considering with the wave that we're seeing right now in 2018, I think we'll have a Congress for that approval anyway. You need more? You need money? You need support, not just money. Money is approved by Congress. Yeah, why is that? Because they're bought with money. Stefan, are you social? He's not. He's I'm more left than he is. I'm more left than Stefan is. So he's definitely not. Like, I don't know what label I would say, but I don't know what am I considered. I don't know. Like, I would kind of consider you like a social democrat, I guess. Canadian. I mean, they're a social democracy, and that's, yeah, I mean, I guess that's what I would consider you, a social democrat. I'm just like, for me, I'm just a little more left than you. I mean, that's just essentially the only difference.
Guys, do stretch.
It was a science that would be most certainly looked upon with disdain, and then it's creating your own mannequin, lifelike mannequin,
913.
sex doll to use for whatever purpose you want.
Are you Canadian? He actually isn't. He is not a Canadian, though. There is, I think there's like this funny Canadian story that we got. French Canadian. Are you Stefan, are you JF? Are you JF? Are you JF Rijplay? Die onziraf na staten? Die artistic girls? Oh my god, JF. Man, I haven't thought about that dude in a long time, JF. I'm big anti-corruption, higher government efficiency, universal health care, police/prison reform, and massive infrastructure renewal projects. I'm essentially, yeah, I mean, all that I agree with. Stefan likes Putin. Oh, net neutrality, yep. I mean, I'll also expand net neutrality with, like, public telecommunications instead of privatized with internet service providers and shit. Like, I mean, I think you can treat that kind of similarly to like how you would like a healthcare where you can do it in different ways. You can do it like a bargaining system where the government bargains with the ISPs instead of the people doing that. Jimmy Wester, come out, corny. Where you at? I don't think it's here. I mean, if he was here, he would have backed himself up with when I was saying my my little view of him. It's not like a negative one at all. I mean, it's not. It doesn't mean I like dislike the dude at all. I mean, I still enjoy the conversations we have when we actually get into them. You know, like I like that. You know, I have a challenger. You know, even though I find it to be a little, the views to be a little ridiculous. I mean, it's okay. I enjoy a challenge. It's fine. I don't think Jimmy's actually big time conservative. He's definitely not. It makes me sarcastic most of the time. It says there's 4 people watching. I only see 2. But YouTube likes to have this little view count, which would, for me, be right here. Like, I'll have like a little feed right here, and there's like the views right there, and likes here and shit. And they only say 2, which I only see Carl and Stefan doing some chatting, so they're the only ones I see. The way he states his opinions is really unconventional. Alright, talk about Mike Johnson, because that was the guy earlier, and that guy was being very sarcastic, but he comes in here and does trolls and memes every now and then, so sometimes it's hard to tell, but I'm here, Mimi. Oh, well, there's Joe. So there's 3 people here, but YouTube doesn't want to acknowledge your existence. Or one of you. I don't know who. It's just, I guess I subjectively view Stefan and Carl more than you, Joe. And by definition, YouTube doesn't acknowledge your existence. I don't. It's all good. I'm sure there's more people watching than there actually is. It's just YouTube's algorithm doesn't want to do it. It just wants to be weird. Must be a butt. And then somebody had said, well, these brothels are opening up, and there'll be no problem. Me Too movement.
It'll be a solution. Men won't have to worry about being accused of making inappropriate moves.
You know, and it makes me wonder where this is all going to go in the long run, because we look at what they've done with the president, we look at what they've done with this Brett Kavanaugh, and then we see what has happened
Oh my
with
God.
Bill Cosby, and we come to find out that Bill Cosby was going to purchase NBC, and then
Did he
now,
really
you
use,
know,
like, look what happened with Trump and Kavanaugh? Like, he could have used Aziz Ansari and Louis C.K. That would have been a more acceptable case.
So I'm just saying, you look at
Like,
this
I mean,
line
with
of
the whole Stormy Daniels thing, that was a one-time deal, like a one-night stand, and he was promising her to go on, that she would be on The Apprentice. That was basically it, but he never fell through with his commitment. Surprising. So that's kind of the main spiel with that shit. I mean, there's like some other prostitute or something that he had an actual affair with and a relationship with that I don't know much about, but there's also like accusations of too. But it's just like, still, that's your personal life. Does that affect his job? Probably not. I mean, you know, like, if he's having like, that's just his personal life and shit. Like, I mean, it's like, why are we making personal, like, someone's personal life, you know, whether or not they're allowed to do a job or not? It's just like, maybe, like, if their personal life maybe has an effect on how, you know, they have their traits, you know, on how to do their job and their ability, then sure. But for the most part, I don't think an affair has an effect on a job. Well, until you get caught, I guess. But for someone like Trump, getting caught don't mean shit.
I mean, first of all, I think there'd have to be legislation that would have to pass.
I'm pissed off to send Bill Cosby to prison. Let the man live out his golden years. He's 81. It's not going to hurt anyone.
The people that are against that.
They give him like 3 to 10 years in prison. Honestly, just give him 3 to 10 years of house arrest, or give him life on house arrest. Guy's 81. He's probably not even going to live like another 3 years. Like he just literally put him on house arrest for the rest of his days. Just let him live in his private home in peace. Like, with, like, monitored internet use. So he's not, like, getting women to hang out at his place and shit or whatever, you know? Like, he's still trying to do his jig. But I doubt he is anymore. He's 81. He's got, like, a lot of his own personal health issues and shit. Maybe he feels remorseful, but he was still lying. I still totally agree with he needs the punishment, but it's just like, at this old of an age, it's just like, you might as well just let him, like, live in his house arrest, you know, for the final years of his life. I mean, he feels like 25 or some shit, or like 34 or something like that. That would be one thing. I would actually say give him like 15 years or some shit in prison. But he's 81. I mean, he's, for all intents and purposes, retired. Like, have him on house arrest and for no circumstance leave. No circumstance. Not for a special for Netflix or some shit. Not for an interview. You can do like an interview via your camera like this, but you can't do an in-person interview. Like, you know, you can't do that. You can't do a show at a comedy club. You can't do those type of things. You can't have just anyone visit you. You have to have approval by, you know, someone with you, or by your parole officer. You know, you gotta restrict, you know, his usage on his house arrest, but just let him live his final days in fucking peace. You know? Like, it's just like, it's like with, deporting, I think it was in Germany, like, or something like that, where there's like this German guard who was like 91, who was a guard for Auschwitz, and he, at like 91 or something like that, or like 94, he got tried and like convicted and jailed and imprisoned. And it's like, what the fuck? He's gonna be in there for like 2 years and die in a cell. It's like, I feel like, I actually kind of feel bad for the old dude, because it's like, you might as well just, if you're gonna like convict these old people for crimes they've done, you know, years ago or whatever, that, you know, they've obviously done, just put them on house arrest at this point. They're not gonna go out and fucking mug people or some shit. Like, what are they gonna do? What's an old dude gonna do? Did you hear about the Russian boy that Joe Malloy hired to mow his lawn? Yep. How would go on talk shows and shit saying he did nothing, and again, his man sees a race issue because he's black and was persecuted? I mean, I don't even give a I mean, he could say whatever the fuck he wants about it. I mean, the facts don't lie. He did it, and he was tried, convicted, and guilty. It doesn't matter what he says. Yeah, I mean, he can say whatever he wants, and ain't gonna revert from the truth. I mean, or at least the truth of the verdict of the court and the testimonies and the evidence and everything. Like, he's it's pretty much his word versus a fat stack of evidence, testimonies, etc., etc., etc. It's just like, what am I gonna believe more? You know, there's gonna be a few people that are gonna be gullible and stupid and be like, oh yeah, I mean, you know, he did nothing wrong. It's just like, yeah, he did, but he's old. He's old. He's an old man. He's gonna die in like 5 years. Just let him be on house arrest. You know what I mean? I mean, I only feel bad for that sense, just for his age and shit. I mean, I don't feel bad, you know, for being a punishment. That's why I think, you know, there needs to be restrictions in house arrest and never leave for any circumstance. Like, you know, not even to, you know, you can't leave your property. I should probably expand it. Like, you can go walk around outside your house and shit, but if you go out one step out your property, you're gonna get fined, you know, first time, second time, you know, you pretty much get arrested and you're like, all right, now you're actually going to prison, you know, because you're being, you know, fucking dolt trying to escape.
What would it take for you to get a tattoo you didn't want?
Good night, guys. Oh, you're leaving us early. Call my yard never looked better. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. It's getting swiggity giggity.
No more annoying seam, no more falling down your legs.
Got so much CBD.
And what's better than creating the best socks in the
Not that I don't mind, but it's just like I don't want all this now. I want my sativas. Well, I mean, I want it, but it's just that my cannabis consumption desires are feeling something else.
People loved our socks, and instead of 10 years,
got work tomorrow. So do I, so I'll go on for probably, I don't know. I'll see how long I feel like it. I'll see.
And get 20% off your first order. That's bombas.com/FM News.
Oh man, this is a fat stem. I'm not even gonna try deal fat. I'm not even gonna try. This is my purple Hindu Kush has a fat stem, and I'm like, damn. Don't even want to try deal fat. Don't be jealous. You can do my yard if you want. I don't think he lives close enough for you to for that to happen. And I do my own yard too, so it's all Gucci. Well, sometimes. Not always, but if it gets pretty terrible, my dad hasn't done it yet, I'll do it. That's kind of how I do it, because I do other things around in the yard. Oh my god. Oh. I guess bitching about it fixed it.
No, the men who create these women don't have a problem with women. That's like saying the women who create sex toys have a problem with men. Because think about that for a moment. I mean, men are visual. That's why they want to have these sex dolls. Women, on the other hand, aren't visual, and they create artificial penises for sex toys.
That's true.
Well, I mean, dudes can too.
What's worse?
Because I don't know. It's not mutually exclusive between one and the other gender.
But he's also taking away women's intuition. Women can also fight with a situation.
This is a really interesting show tonight.
I
I have to say that for sure for Clyde. Talking about sex.
I mean, if it came up in a porn, I would send it, but just I wouldn't want to hear.
I would say this. I would say, listen, I mean, I don't know if you go to bars much, but I used to go to bars a lot, and it's always that if a woman goes into a bar, most of the time, if she's there and she asks herself, or she asks the man to go with her, chances are the man will say, sure, he'll go. Men are willing to go. I mean, that's
yeah.
Men, on the other
I mean, if they're single, looking to mingle, and a woman offers.
They don't have the social skills to approach a woman. Or they don't know what to say, they don't know what to do, and of course, when you're looking at
Makes me don't know what to just say.
Yeah, my lack of experience is the same thing. I mean,
men have their own way of doing things. They don't
like,
proceed in a politically correct way, and they're not enlightened most of the time to select a woman.
I mean,
They end up valuing her for the right things.
I mean, a lot of it. I mean, I feel like there's definitely a lot of factors into this. I mean, unfortunately, on a radio show, you can't expand so much into it. You know what I mean? You can't just spend like 3 hours talking about like the aspects of just like picking someone up and having a mingle, or whatever. You can't expand so much. I wonder if Clyde does like private shows for like Patreon and stuff, because I know he has a Patreon. If he does, that'll be kind of interesting, because I'll be like, hey, I'll be down to subscribe to that Patreon and be like, hey, I want to like have a private show or something. But we're flooding now. You're up to 4 or 5 now watching. Who's here? I don't know. Just random people. Just some individuals want to come say hi. See what this little soapbox of my public speak is about.
If you accept how a man is, and if you're forgiving of what a man does, and if you work with what a man and work with him, you're going to find out just how powerful and effective you are when you give the man the benefit of the doubt. And that's the thing. I mean, men look first. They ask questions later. We're visual. That's why we have sex robots now. And that's the thing. It's that men.
Well, I mean, women are also visual. I mean, there's a lot of desires that women see physically in men as well. Which is why I think these issues aren't mutually exclusive. You know what I mean?
That's something that has to be worked on.
Watts? I don't know if he's here either.
But,
I don't know who's here, and I don't worry about it myself.
You need to learn your technique a little better. Some men just can't do that.
Oh, come on, I'm actually interested in this. For fuck's sake. This is actually kind of an interesting discussion to talk about.
And it's just a terrible situation that has to come down to this. It really is.
Yeah, it is sad that it's coming down to this, but see, that's the thing.
It's now about to have a break.
Our ability to understand
I hear the music.
socially how men and women react to each other. And I think, going back to what I said, it's the idea that forgiving and being forgiving and understanding and noticing that men aren't like women, and that
and women aren't like men.
They're going to be making mistakes because most of the time we do. Half the time we don't know what
humans are fallible, yeah.
Do and act, and
of course.
And it's because of instinct. And I know that the perfect man would overcome that, and sometimes we just don't.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I definitely agree. Yeah.
That's why we need forgiveness and love. 888-673-3700.
And just understanding and respect too. Just like I mean, overall, I do agree. Yeah. Okay, talk. Damn, I missed the hot pot. Yeah, I mean, I was just listening to kind of what he was saying, because, I mean, it's definitely an interesting thing to talk about, just like the social factors of sexual interaction in a public area where you're, like, wanting to meet, for somebody, looking for a relationship or something like that. We're not perfect, no one is. So, yeah. Oh, definitely. Like I just said, humans are fallible. Like, we make mistakes. That's just in our nature. We just do that. I mean, it's nothing we can't help. We can just only improve on our mistakes and get better from them and learn from it. That's kind of why we do this, because we can, work on adapting to make less mistakes in the future based off the past. I mean, that's part of the human experience. So, I mean, that's just kind of what it all is. It's just a human experience that we have to do. I mean, a lot of the factors into how it's hard definitely is like just the, it's like, hey, it's easier to talk to your same gender, essentially. Like, it's easy to just talk to a bruh and be like, hey, dude, what's up? Hey, what's up, dude? Hey, so that's pretty easy. Or be like, hey, girl, how's it going on? I am, however I don't know how they I'm just gonna pretend that didn't happen. But anyway, I mean, it's just like, but when you start meeting the opposite gender, try to have an interaction, there's definitely other things, at play at that point. It's not just like, hey, I'm just chatting with somebody. It's like, I mean, there's a potential for like, hey, do I want to like be in a relationship with you or not? If that's what you're intending for. And, for a lot of guys, that is sometimes. Sometimes I find someone's imperfections to make them special and loving. Oh, yeah. Like, honestly, I mean, people who have like imperfections and shit are, you know, are, I mean, a lot of the times they like to have like an anxiety about it. I mean, about their imperfections. People do, and you know, and if someone were points it out, but does it in a way where it's like, hey, you know, I see value in something meaningful about it, or you know, I'm able to overlook it and not give a shit because you know I like you and I love you, and so whatever, you know, and I want to have a relationship and I want to be with you, you know. I hate when people think they have nothing wrong and look down on each other. Oh yeah, because it's an insecurity. It's like because they look down on other people because they got problems themselves, but instead of acknowledging and solving their own problems, they rather look down on other people and fuck on them. And I mean, it's not the case always, but chances are they are insecure about some other issues, and generally the issue they are talking down on the most is the issue that they have the most insecurity about. So, it's not always the case. Sometimes they just really have a hate boner for that, but most of the times it's probably due to an insecurity. I mean, you know, like, I don't know, I mean, it's something that I'm, you know, probably couldn't really expand too much on, you know, speaking, you know, about expanding on the topic stuff, but, I mean, another, especially negative factor is just the anxiety of the stigma with, like, this Me Too movement and the political correctness or whatever. It's just like, if I make a wrong move or whatever, am I going to be yelled at for sexual harassment or something? Am I going to get, like, berated by, you know, or whatever as soon as I, like, say, hey, I think you look cute? And be like, rape! It's like, whoa. You know, it's just like, I mean, I live in Portland. That, unfortunately, is somewhat a possibility. Or at least, kind of. And it's just like, well, while you're probably thinking, it's like, well, you know, why do you give a fuck about what they think? If you don't work out, just move along. It's just like, yeah, good point. But it's just like, if every other woman I'm meeting is just like, rape, or whatever, or just like, man, misogynist. You know, whenever I meet up, you know, greet and have my tertious flirt, it's just like, what mental effect will that have on me? With the consistent rejection, that's just the thing. Granted, you know, it's just like, you know, it's like, whatever, you know, just gotta move on and find the next partner. But, you know, it's just like, over time, you know, that does have a mental effect, and for some people, it doesn't have a major mental effect, and for me, it doesn't really either, because it's something I'm actually not really striving and looking for outwardly and making a priority in my life. But for myself, like, or for other people, it could be, you know, a big problem. Like, maybe they have a very big social anxiety issue, and they can't really talk to people, and maybe it's because, like, they feel like, oh, I'm just gonna get, you know, yelled at because or whatever, or just utterly denied because I'm some misogynist or something like that for something I'm just gonna say. And it's just like, you know, even though for other people it might not be a problem, for other people it is. It's definitely a major, you know, social psychology thing that, you know, could be expanded and studied on more. I kind of hope that does. Speaking of sex, my fish tank has no new babies. The sluts have cooled off. Damn. Maybe they got out of season for a moment. Got out of season for a second, chilled out. Mating season's over. What's this intense porn music, dude? Like, I imagine this in, like, some 80s hardcore BDSM porn, dude. Like, what?
For the resonator, and my grandson wants the sex robot. I'm Clyde Lewis.
Well, thanks, Rick.
You are listening to Ground Zero.
Dub.
it's weird science, but it's here now.
Are you excited about upcoming trip? Oh yeah, dude.
20. Well, actually, no. 10
I always am.
locations.
I'm always excited about going to this trip, dude.
By 2020, according to the founder of the brothel, he opened one in Toronto or something.
Oh, hey, I was talking about this earlier.
The ones in Japan, though, are actually, they say, are pretty damn real. So remember that.
Oh, dude, yeah, Japan, they got their sex spots down on lock. Like, they make that shit, like, pretty freakishly real, dude.
Hi, Clyde. Thank you so much.
Live stream from Iceland?
Talking about all these really interesting
I'm gonna
topics.
try. I'm gonna see if I can live stream in Iceland. If I can't because of data, then I can't, but
You know, these major
if I can, I can.
like,
I'll try. I'll see what I can do. If not, I'll at least have like a video and some pictures and stuff. I'll on my Discord, I'll share it on there. On Twitter, I'll share pictures there as well. So I'll make sure. I'll also make sure I have a memory card because my phone has no memory. So I'm gonna make sure I have an SD card before I leave too. I really mean to make sure and it has some memory so I can at least have some pictures and some videos.
Period.
Because
No, you didn't do that.
I need that.
I
want to have the memories. Yeah, but he
And,
shouldn't bring his work with him.
Of course, you know, through counseling and
This
and I'm
this
also
isn't work.
here in
At least
Austin.
not yet.
I put
And
all
even
that
if
in my
and even
music,
so,
I've had many years
so
to,
what?
You know, really,
this is actually fun for
try
me.
to heal from
And
it. I
if
don't
it
know
was
if
my
you
work,
heal all
it's just
the
making a
way
little
from
extra
it, but
buck.
I just think, you know, when I hear these
Vacation is
callers
time for brain relaxation.
saying, well, poor Kavanaugh,
I agree.
don't know
Like,
about
I mean,
him. You know, I don't
my
even-
actual
I don't
work,
know
this
what's
it
going
will
on
be.
with
And this is also,
See,
that
the
helps
thing
with
is,
my brain
it's
relaxation,
resentment, and
honestly,
it's
because it
spread-
helps
and
me be
also
social with
spread a
other
lot
people.
of,
So,
you know, paranoia
like, I'm able
and,
to
you know,
be
never
more
getting to say,
interactive
what's going
and
on,
cool
you
the
know?
brain
It's like
down and just talk about
everybody now,
bullshit
if
and
they
just
wanna
rant
get
about
into a
stuff
position or they
and,
wanna do something,
you
there's
know, talk
always
about
that
other things
obstacle
that
of an
I like to talk
accusation.
about
And this
or
is
like
where,
to have
you know,
opinions
people
and
are
think about and
beginning to
stuff.
say that there's,
So,
a backlash
it helps
to
me
the Me Too
relax,
movement. And
relax
I
and,
warned
like,
this. I said, you know, you keep
like,
doing this, and
de-break
eventually
myself
the women
mentally.
who are really seriously
And then
having
after,
these
like, usually
situations,
around 3 hour points
and,
on, if I
and
do
they
those
really,
type of live
really
streams,
need
you
the
really can tell.
injustice.
It's like, alright, I
They
have, like,
certainly are
wasted
gonna
my
get overlooked
brain's
because
energy
people are gonna
now.
say,
I am now
okay, you're
done.
crying this, you know, and that's the bad
So,
thing about this.
there will
is
be
that
so
it's
much to
definitely,
do
I
and
mean,
see.
you
Oh
keep
my
pushing
god,
the
dude.
issue,
I know.
the issue will
I don't
lose
even
its,
know where to, like,
it'll
start
actually lose its flavor. It'll
with,
wear on people. It'll become a fatigue situation.
like, when we go there, I don't even
But
know,
it's
like,
true
I don't know
when you say you don't see the
what
separation.
initially what
Men
we're gonna do.
are
I know I'm
intimidated
definitely
now.
gonna have to hit up
It's
a bar or
succeeding.
two.
It's intimidation.
And I think I'm gonna,
when you look around, you look
at
how
the,
the
when we get
sitcoms,
there, get like a
you know,
big
when you're
bottle
looking
of
at
like
sitcoms
mead or
between
something
the
and
men
last,
and
have
women
that
in
last
the
a week.
sitcoms, it's always the
And
women that
by
seem
the end
smarter
of
than
it,
the men.
have
The
just
man
a
is
bottle
always
to
this
bring
dope
back home.
who doesn't know
Have
how
a
to
bottle
all
from
he knows how to do
Iceland.
is bring home food and bring home
But
money.
I want, wait,
Otherwise, I mean, look at Roseanne.
at the
What are they gonna do with
airport,
that show? They're gonna get rid
could
of
I
Roseanne. And they're gonna go
potentially
back to the dopey
at the
guy,
airport
John
buy
Goodman,
alcohol
and everybody,
after,
you know, is
like
always gonna
coming
be attacking
back
him.
from
It's
Iceland?
just the nature of it all. It's the
I
idea
know you
that
can like
for
buy
some
like
reason
souvenirs at the
men are
airport and
depicted
buy
as being
like food at
unaware
the
of what
airport
they're
and bring it
doing.
on the plane, but could you
And
buy
I
alcohol on the
hear you on
plane?
that. I
Or
guess
again, didn't go on the plane?
when 60 plus
Because if
women
so, I'll just put it in my
are
bag and I'm not
kind
even
of
worried
against
about
Cosby.
that's being checked
Well,
the
yeah,
baggage.
Cosby's a different thing. He's a predator,
You know,
obviously.
Well,
He's a
all right.
predator, and the court of
Well,
law
I'll
proved
probably
it.
see if I can bring
Weinstein
back
out of a court of law. Well, how
a
about all
single
those other men
bottle.
that have been accused?
But
They were gonna see a court of law. They were
well,
just
also
accused, and now they're
Icelandic's
not gonna work for
travel aircraft
I
policy
hear-
is a
I
little
hear you
probably
on
going to be
that.
different than
But I will tell
Americans,
you, I
but
still don't think
it's
that
international, so I think
I-
it's just
like,
going to be
there was a
international
lady that
policy.
called
So
earlier and said
I don't know,
that
but
men
I'll see if I
aren't
can bring
interested
one
in
back
women,
and
they're
let you
gonna go
guys
up
check
there.
it out. If I
For
can't do
everyone,
streams
I
up there, I want to
it's
let you guys
very
at least see
that
something.
intimidating.
That'd be
It's
cool.
just a sad state there. I mean, it's like my
I also,
we are complete opposites.
I'm definitely
We've been
gonna buy
married
like some
24
shirts or
years.
something while I'm up
I'm a
there.
liberal
And I
independent.
definitely want to
He
try to
voted
see if
for
I can
Trump.
find some live shows
But
while I'm there
he's a
too.
man that
Because I
does
heard
what he
they
needs.
have a very
You know what I mean?
lively
And I know
music
there's other
nightlife.
couples that I know
So
that
I
they don't
definitely want to check that out. I want to see if I'm hearing music in a bar, I'm going in it.
philosophy and
Walk right in. I'm
government
gonna see
and
what
all
they're.
that
I want to see what band is
You know,
playing. I
they're-
want to see what
Politics are dividing
like the environment
relationships.
is. I
In
want to
your
go
case, it's not.
have a drink or
Politics
two.
divide
See what's
relationships.
up.
All
Record the
kinds of
band.
things divide
If
relationships.
it's
As I said
karaoke,
before,
I'll
if
see
we're
what
looking
a
at each
drunken
other and
Icelandic
forgive one
guy
another,
sings
I mean,
for
there's something
karaoke
that
and
just
see what they got for
you know, passive
discography and
forgiveness
see
is
what I
that
can do for
yourself.
karaoke
What I'm
too.
saying is that we find that
But,
we
I don't know.
establish the idea
That'd be pretty
that,
dope.
you know, men are trying.
I put up this like
They don't always
hypothetical
succeed.
scenario of like, what if I met an
Men
Icelandic woman
to what women
who's like,
want. And
who like
sometimes
likes
women
me or
have to
some
just kinda
shit.
go,
That would be kind of
"Alright,"
an interesting thing to
and
happen.
most women do. Most women do.
Glitching
That's the way I
out
feel
fund,
sometimes.
lol.
It's kinda
Watch
like,
what you bring back.
I
Bailing
always say
out.
I mean well, but then I always screw up.
Bailing
Or I
out
always
fund,
find something that I do that I do a lot of good, but sometimes I just
Run,
don't
flee,
feel like
move
I
to
do enough.
Iceland. Dude,
Yeah.
I've talked about it, man. I low key, I want to stay. I want to stay.
Change that's happening right now.
But
And a lot of men are
I think you can. I think they only will let you if you have a actual case. But I know Iceland's policy is they will actually give subsidiary and citizenship to foreigners who are who are willing to marry and have a relationship with an Icelandic woman who's single, and they both are able to like sign on and agree and consent to all of it. So
honestly,
if that's true, I could probably live in Iceland, dude. I probably could. Probably could. But then that would mean no more drugs. I'll just be a belligerent Nord drunk doing streams. But I mean, then I can just go there and just encourage my wife to run for office in Iceland and just encourage legalization of marijuana and other things. Oh God, karaoke! You will be singing in Iceland of the sun, in the land of the sun.
Well, take care, Clyde.
Yep, I will be.
Thank you for calling the program. Take care. Let's go to Jesse in Pennsylvania.
Watch those local ice bitches, dude. Nordic women are beautiful, bro. I like if one gets an interest in me, I low key might not give a fuck. Iceland, legalize it. Tundra weed. Hell yeah, dude. Dude, we need that Icelandic thunderfuck, dude. We got Alaskan thunderfuck. Now we need Icelandic thunderfuck, dude. Like, I mean, there's a reason why they call it Alaskan thunderfuck. Now we need an Icelandic strain of it, dude. But we can only have that happen if Iceland legalizes it. So Iceland, get to work. Get to work. Legalize it by the time we get up there.
Be careful about the kindness thing and the nicest thing. It can be misconstrued as weakness. But I mean, be the man. You know, be the man. Be present.
That is true.
Presence and. You know,
which is why I feel like my niceness is exploited sometimes. I've kind of like looked back on my niceness and trust on people. I've like kind of looked back on how I viewed that on people and shit. Take a trip to Canada. When I get my car, I might just go to Vancouver or go to Canada, do a trip in Canada, eh? Seriously, I might just do a trip to Alaska while I'm at it. I have a passport, I can just do it. So, yeah, I might. Why not? I might take a trip to Mexico too when we get the car, when I get the license, because the car's already here. I just need the license. So, yeah. That's about it. Just have to do driving tests, and that's all. I don't want to let you all know when. We can meet up during spring break. Fuck yeah, dude. Yes, I think mentioned it in one of my videos. Some people look at niceness as weakness.
That was a good joke. You know,
I have a passport. Oh, you do, Stefan? Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, that's right, because you've been out of country before. You've talked about going to Germany and shit. We need to go to Germany, you and I. Like, we need to, like, because I've always wanted to go to Germany. That's, like, the next country I actually want to go to that's in Europe. Like, if I'm talking about going out of country to Europe, Germany is the next place I want to go to. And then, I would love to go to, Italy. I'd love to go to, Hungary. I'd like, Austria, Switzerland, Poland, Estonia, Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, Sweden. I already said Sweden. Like, pretty much every Scandinavian country, the Faroe Islands. Why not? That was a long ass time ago. I got one just in case my parents lived in Nicaragua for a year. Oh, well, I mean, whatever. But I'm kind of, I don't know, I kind of wonder why they went to Nicaragua. I mean, they have been having a lot of political instability lately. Like, I know that was like a year ago, and I think I know they've moved back in the country to Hawaii. I think. I don't know. I forgot what you told me exactly, but I mean, I feel like there's just safer countries in Latin America you probably could have gone to. It was before the political instability. That makes sense. Yeah, like, I mean, you can't, like, predict instability like that, but, I mean, I don't know, I feel like there's, I personally would have been more keen on, like, very quiet place where you like never hear anything come out of it ever. I'd go to Jamaica myself. I'd retire in Jamaica. That'd just be me. That's just me personally. Smoke the ganja, man. It comes from the earth. And you got to smoke the ganja, man. It be blessed by the da. Be blessed by da. Because it's by murder rate the safest country in Central America. Students of the world, we have a lot of countries in the same field. They didn't want to deal with hurricanes. That makes sense. We smoke the earth because we get fucked by hurricanes. So that we get blessed by with the ganja. Because we cannot sustain ourselves with infrastructure and a budget to protect ourselves. Because we're just a small, humble little nation. We don't have enough money for it, so we just smoke the ganja that be blessed by Jah, man. Nothing gone with that. No. Nothing gone. Don't think I'm being offensive. Fuck you. I probably am, honestly, but I'm an edgelord. What do you expect? Costa Rica is the most underrated country in the world, though. Costa Rica. Oh, my leg.
That way we wouldn't have to worry about any sexual activity with a robot. Sure.
Outside the drug crime, they have everything going for them. Oh, I bet. I mean, the drug crime is probably due to, the drug war and other policies and the cartels and corruption. I mean, I feel like that could be an issue resolved with at least a step with decriminalization. I was looking for a home there. What's stopping you? Do like the Costa Rican Malloy or the Rican Malloy podcast or some shit. Do like start one up and retire with one retired in Costa Rica, and your retirement fund is just your YouTube. It's just the income you get from your fans. And the drug crime is the only east side though. So go on the west side. You're good.
I wrote the book, started writing in 2016, saying I want to write a book that's going to say we got to pay attention to the innovations that may come around and they may change the way we look at the world and look at life. And I even lamented in 2016. I said, this isn't going to happen. By 2018, I was all over it saying, here we go, let's do this. Nothing. And now my book is out. The books came in, the shipment came in, and I was thinking to myself, wow. I mean, you can tell that I started this back in 2016, and I wound up in 2018 finishing up the book. And because you can just see
what are we looking for?
I
don't know. I just saw a bunch of
I
smoke.
built on it, but now it's almost to the point where what I wrote,
cool.
it seems so
All
far
the
in the
pink
past
elephants are
that it's hard
flying
to
around
keep
the
up
room
with the
too. That's
technology.
cool too.
Well, and I
Well,
think
then.
in another
There's a
10
gray
years,
one.
it may be
Purple one,
illegal
green one.
to operate a
Wow.
vehicle on public thoroughfares.
You can live like a king in Costa Rica. 20,000 buy you a mansion. My parents tried.
Robotic cars will supplant human-driven cars because it'll be safer. They'll find them safer and more efficient, and you're right about that. Sam, thank you for the call.
Yeah.
888-673-3700. That's
It'd be really interesting to. I would love to go to the Caribbean and all these little small nations that are around there. Can I have a little bit?
Huh? That's the only one that was in there, in the far back corner of that outbox.
Yeah. I remember I bought that a while ago, and.
You gonna drink?
Oh, sure.
FM News 101
Just drink a bit.
KXL.
Depends where I think. My parents were trying for West Coast.
Thinking about life insurance? What if you could make one free
Well, yeah,
call
it's
and learn your
the higher end
best
of
price
Costa
from
Rica.
a dozen highly rated,
I mean-
price-competitive companies? Well, that's exactly
I mean, I
what
would love to go to like
happens with Select Road
when it
Life.
comes to like the
For
Americas, like to
example,
Colombia,
choice
to Costa
sports,
Rica,
giving Sky
to
High
the
votes
Dominican
from
Republic, to
other
Jamaica,
companies. It takes meds to
the
control blood
Cayman
pressure.
Islands,
I shop around.
St. Martin. I would like to go to all these places. That'd be really cool. I mean, eventually, I'll be able to find the time, but not even do it for, out of the luxurious standards of the places, but just to kind of experience the life and the nature and the world around that place, you know what I mean? Like, that'd just be really cool. I mean, like, if I were to go to Colombia, I wouldn't just, go to, like, tourist hotspots. I would just, like, travel the countryside and shit. If I'm minding my own business and shit, gotta rent a car, just driving around, seeing the views and sights, going around villages, checking out the culture. I mean, you know, like, I doubt the cartels are gonna fuck with me. Besides, like, a lot of the cartel crimes have died down a lot, from what from what I've heard in Colombia. So it's been kind of popping back in with tourism. I mean, it's not like totally safe, but it's definitely gotten slightly better. Battery only 5%. Crap, now it's me. If you see me, drop off. Alrighty. Well, I'm thinking about wrapping up anyway soon myself because my battery's low too. But won't wrap it up just yet. Oh my god. Jeez, that fucking radio. We just need to get a new radio, dude. This is trash. It's trash, man. It's trashy radio. But there's some other places I like to visit. I like to go to Argentina, too. Brazil would be really cool, but they got a lot of instability, too. So probably not anytime soon. Chile would be really cool. Peru. Bolivia. I mean, I also like. What about like some places in Africa? Like no one ever like goes to Africa, so like traveling there has to be cheap, right? Like, come on, all right. Let's challenge ourselves. Let's name some places in Africa that aren't like obvious, like South Africa or some shit. Like, let's name some. Like, let's try to find some places here. All right. This is hard because I mean, there's also a lot of countries, but there's, I mean, they're all just so fucked in their own different ways. It's like, okay, where do I go that won't get me kidnapped or killed or something? It's just like, oh god. Or I just can't go to because there's Somalia. Oh fuck, no. No, okay. I mean, I could probably easily like get power in Somalia if I played my cards right, but hell no, I ain't going there. Like, if I like somehow got like some crime organization or some shit, like, or I got caught with something, had to flee the country, and it's like, you know what, fuck it, might as well, you know, start a crime organization. I just go to Somalia because, I mean, it's basically total anarchy there. I mean, it's basically ran by warlords. Like, I can just start my own little village just right outside another village. It's all in little tribe wars. Yeah, I mean, I could just be the guy that just like does trades and deals and shit with other warlords. I'm like, hey, don't fuck with me. I'm just, I'm just helping all of you guys because, I'm here trying to, like, you guys, you need a well? All right, I'll get you guys a well. Give me a little bit of weapons to defend my little area, and give me a little extra money to help with our agriculture and shit, and I'll get you a well going. All right, you guys, you need a little extra help with getting your land fertile. All right, we'll help you out. Give us a little bit of purification tablets for your water systems, and we'll be good or whatever. Like, do trades and shit. We'll do it. We'll do it in a traditional manner. And I'll be very, I'll like if they get all hostile with me, I'm like, dude, like I don't even bother with you. Every time I come out of my own little territory, I'm here to trade with people. So if you really want to fuck with me, like just like. I'm just gonna walk off, and if you come on my territory, then fine. Then we're gonna talk business with a gun. But nah, I'll be the trader. I'll be the white merchant, dude. I'll be like the white merchant. Like I doubt that'll be my name, but the white merchant. That'll be kind of an interesting name. Like, I don't really like do my crime and violence, but just by just doing trades and shit, and I just do it like any other like foreign power and foreign government does. I just do it in a way where it's just small and in Somalia, just tribal. I mean, essentially, I'd just be exploiting their efforts to shoot each other, kill each other with with my own means of prosperity, but it's chaos there. The white man from the north. Yes. Yes, the white man from the north. Well, more like the white man from the west, but I'll say from the north. Because I'll just say I'm the Danish Nord that comes to trade for merchants and wealth, and I plan on retiring, and with the people who want to come work with me, I'll also treat them fair and give them whatever means they've done for me, I'll give them the same value in return. That type of thing. Like if you just want to be like, for example, a farm tender. You get, your basic home, you get your basic remedies, and you get, a sidearm because Somalia, anyone can kill you. So I'm gonna make sure you have a gun so you can defend yourself. Just don't go killing anyone with it. Like, this is for you, for your self-defense. Please, keep yourself safe. Don't try to instigate anything. We're here, trying to make our lives better and shit. I'll be good. Really, the white man from the Northwest. The white man of Pacifica. How about that? Or Cascadia or some shit. The white man of Cascadia. There we go. That works, because technically I'm in Cascadia.
And let's try, as I said, to try and come to that point where we're forgiving and we're understanding of one another. And we try to start over and do better. But anymore, it's the idea of condemnation for the sake of condemnation. It's being contradictory to be contradictory. We know what people don't like. We know what they don't stand for.
Hey, Bear.
But we don't hear about what they do stand for. So we don't hear about what they
here.
get along with, just what they don't like and what they hate. And that's
Hey,
the
boy.
problem.
Oh my God.
son?
Yeah.
And people have,
Yeah.
kind of,
Hey, boy.
the men and women have kind of split and gone slightly different directions a bit, and
Yeah, well, I mean, it's up to
Mustache
us.
is beginning to
It's up
show
us to steer the-
on cam.
it's up to us to steer the social
Oh God, you
net
smell like a wet
direction,
dog.
the social
Why did I pick you up?
direction that's,
Good,
positive.
good.
Hey, listen,
So little, but whatever. Well,
check
I'm
it out.
dying.
Get on the internet, listen to the rest of the show tonight, and more of
Oh,
your
well.
calls. Give us a call now. 888-673-3700. That's
It just sounds like
888-673-3700. I'm Clyde
it's that
Lewis.
time.
You're listening to Ground Zero, and we'll be back.
FM News 101 KXL.
Message and data rates may apply.
Earning your degree from one of the top business schools in the country might sound impossible to fit into your workload. But what if there were a business
I agree.
that
Fuck the
furthered
batteries.
your career and gave you access to world-renowned faculty, leaders, and mentors, all on your schedule?
Oh.
One that opened doors to some of the most influential
Sounds like it's that time.
companies, law firms,
So-
entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. And what if you
I'll
could
show
earn
you.
that degree in as little
Well,
as 16 months?
I will be heading out now.
100%
So,
online.
I'll see you in the next one, which will probably be tomorrow or Thursday. I don't know when. But anyway,
That's
peace out.
PRE.
Boom, bitch.